Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're always diving into some pretty fascinating topics here, but today, we're going deep into something I bet you're already pretty familiar with. Online courses.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Right.
Exactly. But we're not just talking about taking them. Oh no. We're going to explore the whole, I don't know, the business side of them, like creating them,
Mm.
buying them, even reselling those digital gold mines.
It's a pretty exciting world to explore, actually.
Right. It kind of feels like, well, I don't know, it's a little wild to think about.
I get it, but think about the potential. This is a market that's, well, it's projected to hit over $375 billion by 2026.
Whoa, whoa, hold on. Did you just say billion?
Yeah, billion with a B. It's huge EE.
Okay, that's pretty insane.
It is.
So to guide us on this deep dive, we're using Unlock the Potential of Online Courses, Create, Buy, and Resell for Profit. And even just skimming through it, I'm starting to get why everyone's so hyped about this whole thing.
Huh.
Like, you don't need to be some, millionaire to get started. You don't need a warehouse packed with stuff.
Yeah.
And you can reach people, well, basically anywhere.
Exactly. It's low overhead, super scalable.
And talk about flexibility. Right.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the best parts. This isn't just about like tech skills or business stuff. It could be fitness,
Yeah.
creative arts, you name it. The possibilities are, well, they're pretty much endless.
You could tap into a niche you're, passionate about.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's pretty cool. But let's get down to brass tacks here. How do we actually turn that passion, whatever it is, into like a profitable online course?
Well, our source lays it out pretty clearly, actually. It breaks the whole process down into four, you could say, main steps.
4 steps. Okay, I can handle that. What's
Yep.
the first one?
First up, picking your niche. You got to find that sweet spot where your expertise and what people actually want to learn, where those two things meet.
So like that sourdough Ted thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Okay, makes sense. But how do we know if people actually want to learn about, I don't know, underwater basket weaving?
Well, luckily, there are tools for that. The source mentions Google Trends.
Oh yeah, Google Trends. I've heard of that. But how does that actually help us?
It basically shows you what people are searching for online, right?
Yeah.
You can see if there's an audience out there for your niche, if people are actually looking for information on that topic.
So it's like a peek into, what's hot and what's not.
Pretty much. But it's not just about demand, right? It's also about validating your idea. Does it actually solve a problem for your audience?
You mean like, are people actually struggling with something? And my course can be the solution.
Exactly. A burning question they need answered, a need they want to fulfill.
Got it. So step 1, nail down that niche. Make sure there's a hungry audience out there ready to learn what we have to teach. What's next?
All right, step 2. Now it's time to, well, create the content for your
The
course.
fun part, right?
It is. This is where you get to, be creative and really dig into that expertise you've got.
So, like, what kind of stuff are we talking about here? What goes into creating the content?
Imagine you're building a house. You wouldn't just start throwing bricks around, right? You need a plan, a blueprint. That's what content planning is all about.
Yeah.
You break down your topic into, modules and structure those lessons, make sure everything flows in a way that makes sense.
Right, so people aren't, like, totally lost by lesson 3.
Exactly. And engagement's got to be a big part of it, too.
Engagement.
Yeah, keeping people interested. Think back to those online courses you've enjoyed.
Oh, I know the ones. The ones you actually look forward to watching, right?
Exactly. It's probably not just someone droning on and on, reading from a textbook or something.
Ugh, no way. The good ones mix it up, right? Like videos, quizzes, maybe even some interactive stuff. Keep things fresh.
Right. Speaking of keeping things fresh, our source talks about using different tools to, well, make your course look good, like Canva. Ever heard of that?
Canva. Oh, yeah, I use that all the time. It's super easy to, design pretty much anything. Presentations, thumbnails.
Exactly. And then there's Camtasia for video editing.
Oh, yeah. I haven't used that one. What's it good for?
Well, let's say you want to record a screen share tutorial. Camtasia lets you do that. You can add narration, zoom in on things, highlight stuff.
So it's like, what, having a whole film crew in your computer?
Something like that. And then, you've got the all-in-one platforms, Teachable, Thinkific. Those handle, well, pretty much everything. Building your course, hosting it, payments, even marketing stuff.
Whoa, that's a lot. So
Yeah.
instead of juggling a bunch of different tools, we can just, like, use one of these platforms and be done with it.
Well, yeah, pretty much. It can definitely streamline things, especially if you're just starting out. But, there are tons of options out there.
So how do we know which one to pick?
That's where you've got to think about, like, what you need And of course, your budget.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So we've got tools for visuals, video editing, and then these platforms that do like everything. It's a lot to take in, but it's starting to feel, I don't know, less overwhelming. We're getting somewhere.
We are. And you know what? We've only just started. We've laid the groundwork for creating our course content, so now we move on to step 3.
Ooh, what's next? Spill the beans.
Now we've got to find the perfect place to, well, to actually house your course online.
Oh, right. The virtual classroom. Now we're talking.
Exactly.
This is getting real.
It is. It's time to choose a platform to host your course on. And, well, just like with those content creation tools, there are a ton of options out there.
Oh, yeah, this is where it gets real, right? Like, we're actually putting our course out there for the world to see. Kind of makes you nervous, doesn't it?
It can be a little overwhelming, for sure. But that's why, we're here to break it down.
Make it manageable.
Exactly. So our source lays out a few different types of platforms you can choose from, starting with, well, online course marketplaces.
Marketplaces, like what are we talking about? Like Amazon for online courses.
Kind of. Think of them as, I don't know, giant department stores for online learning. You've probably heard of some of the big ones, right? Like Udemy,
Oh,
Skillshare.
yeah, Udemy's huge. I've taken a few courses on there myself, actually. It seems like they've got a course for, well, just about everything. But I've also heard, that it can be really competitive for creators.
Yeah, that's true. Udemy's got a massive user base, which is great for reaching people. But, well, you're competing with tons of other courses. Standing out, it can be tough.
So what about Skillshare? I've heard that one's a bit different.
Yeah, Skillshare works on like a subscription model. So students pay a monthly fee and they get access to a bunch of courses. It's popular for, I'd say, shorter courses, more creative stuff, like illustration, photography, even things like cooking or crafts.
Okay, so Udemy's like, what, the mega store with everything under the sun, and Skillshare's more, I don't know, boutique-y, focuses on specific stuff.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But what if you want, more control, like over your course and your branding?
Ooh, yeah. I was just thinking about that. What if I want to do things my way?
That's where self-hosted platforms come in.
Self-hosted.
Yeah. Remember those all-in-one solutions we were talking about earlier, like Teachable and Thinkific?
Oh, right.
They give you, the freedom to build your own website, make it look how you want, set your own prices. You have total ownership, basically.
So it's like what? Carving out my own little corner of the internet just for my course. That's pretty cool.
Viral.
But it also sounds, well, I don't know, a lot more hands-on.
It does come with more responsibility, yeah.
Mhm.
But you get so much more freedom. You don't have to play by, someone else's rules. You can create something truly unique.
Okay, I see the trade-off. Marketplaces, they offer convenience, reach a lot of people, but less control. Self-hosting, more control, but it's, well, more work.
Exactly. And there are even more options out there, like building a membership site.
A membership site, like where people can access, like, all my courses.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could even have like live Q&A sessions, exclusive forums, build a real community around your stuff.
Ooh, that sounds pretty amazing, actually. Community people all passionate about the same thing. I love it. But how do you go about creating a whole membership site? It sounds kind of, well, I don't know, complicated.
It might have seemed that way before, but, well, these days there's so many tools that make it way easier. You could use something like WordPress.
Oh, yeah, WordPress. I've heard that.
Yeah.
That's for making websites, right?
Right. And then you can just add like a membership plugin. It handles all the technical stuff like user accounts and who can access what.
So it's kind of like building with Legos then. We got all these different tools and we can put them together to create, well, whatever we want.
Exactly. And here's another Lego block to consider. Leveraging the platforms you're already using.
You mean like what, social media and stuff?
Exactly. You're probably already on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, maybe even Facebook. Why not use those to promote your course?
It makes sense to meet people where they already are, right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see someone I follow talking about a course that sounds interesting, I'm way more likely to, click on it than if I just saw a random ad somewhere.
Exactly. And it's not just social media, right?
Yeah.
What about freelance platforms like Fiverr, Upwork? If you're teaching something like, I don't know, graphic design, you could offer your services on Fiverr and use your profile to, well, to promote your course.
So many options. It's like we're building, what, a multi-platform marketing machine for our course, using everything we've got. This is getting me pumped.
That's the spirit. Now we've covered, where to host your course and how to start getting the word out. But there's one crucial piece of the puzzle we haven't talked about yet.
Ooh, what's that? Don't leave me hanging.
Pricing.
Right. The million-dollar question. How much do we actually charge for all this amazing knowledge we're sharing?
Pricing's tricky, yeah, but it doesn't have to be, a total guessing game. You're offering real value here. You're
Hmm.
solving problems, helping people achieve their goals. That's got to be worth something, right?
Yeah, of course. But how do you actually translate that value into like a number?
Well, our source offers some helpful guidelines. It suggests, considering a few things: the length and complexity of your course, the target audience, and the perceived value you're offering.
Okay, I'm following. So a short course, something introductory, would be priced differently than like a super in-depth program for professionals.
Exactly. For example, a short, beginner course might be somewhere between, say, 20-50 bucks. But a more comprehensive program, something for professionals, could easily be 500, even $1,000 or more.
Wow. Okay. So it's all about finding that, I don't know, that sweet spot
Mm,
where the price feels fair to people, but also reflects, all the work we've put in.
exactly. You don't want to undervalue your expertise, but you also want to make it accessible to the right people.
Right. Right. It's a balancing act. And speaking of making things accessible, what about, offering payment plans or something?
That's a great idea. And you know what else this source mentions that I think is pretty brilliant?
What's that?
Upselling.
Upselling. Like what, supersizing my prize?
Kinda, but think about it like this. Have you ever booked a flight and then they offer you, extra legroom or priority boarding?
Oh, yeah, all the time. And I'll admit, sometimes I cave, especially for the extra legroom.
Exactly. It's about offering people, extra value, enhancing their experience. And you can do the same thing with your course.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like offer bonus modules, one-on-one coaching sessions, access to a private community forum, stuff that adds extra value for people who are, I don't know, willing to invest a bit more.
Precisely. It's like, creating different tiers of access, something for everyone.
I like it. So we're creating a high-quality course, pricing it strategically, offering those tempting upsells,
Mm.
and then we're using all those platforms and marketing strategies to get it in front of the right people. It's like we're building this whole, I don't know, ecosystem for our course.
That's a great way to put it. But, even with the best course in the world and a brilliant marketing plan, you still need one more crucial ingredient for success:
Oh, and what's that?
the right mindset.
Ah, yes, mindset. It's all about believing in yourself.
Well, it's more than just that. Building a successful online course business, it takes resilience,
Yeah.
adaptability, a willingness to learn and grow.
And passion. Don't forget the passion.
Absolutely. Passion is what'll keep you going when things get tough. And let's be honest, there will be tough times.
So true.
Yeah.
But if you're genuinely excited about what you're teaching, if you believe in it, that passion, it'll come through. It'll attract the right students.
It's like, a magnet. People can sense that energy.
Okay, I'm feeling fired up, ready to take on the world of online courses. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, there's one thing I don't know, kind of curious about.
What's that?
Well, our source, Unlock the Potential of Online Courses. It doesn't mention AI at all, which feels, I don't know, a little strange in this day and age, doesn't it?
It is an interesting omission, yeah. Especially with how fast AI is, changing everything.
I know, right? Think about it. AI can help us write scripts, make presentations, even create videos now.
Hmm.
And then there are those AI-powered learning platforms. It's crazy.
It really is. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? How all this AI stuff could be used in, the online course world.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, is AI going to revolutionize how we learn? Are robots going to be teaching us how to bake sourdough bread next?
I don't know about robots taking over just yet, but it's definitely a question worth exploring.
Right. It could be a game changer. It could be a game changer. But you know what? Thinking about AI like that, it makes me think about, I don't know, the bigger picture a little.
Oh, how so? What are you thinking about?
We've talked a lot about, the nuts and bolts of creating an online course, the tech, the marketing, all that stuff. But thinking about AI, it makes me wonder about, I don't know, the human side of it all.
The human side, that's interesting.
Yeah. Like, AI can do so much these days. It can write scripts, create videos, even teach us things, right?
Mhm.
But can it, like, replace the human element of learning, the connection between a teacher and a student?
I see what you're saying. That's a really important point. And you know what? It's something our source, Unlock the Potential of Online Courses, didn't really touch on. It was all about, strategy and tactics, but not so much about the human side of things.
Exactly. And that feels kind of crucial, doesn't it? Like, think about those online courses you've taken that really stuck with you.
The ones that made a real impact.
Exactly. What made them so special? Was it just the information? Or was it something more? Like, did you feel a connection with the instructor? Did they make you feel seen, heard, understood?
That's a great question, and I think it highlights something really important. Technology is amazing, but it can't replace that human spark.
That human touch. I've taken some online courses that felt, I don't know, a little too robotic. Like they were designed by algorithms rather than, real people.
Yeah, I definitely felt that too. It can feel a bit impersonal, can it?
Exactly. And I think that's where, we as course creators have a real opportunity.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, we can bring that human element to our courses. We can connect with our students on a deeper level. We can share our passion, our stories, our unique perspectives.
You're right. That's something AI just can't replicate, that genuine human connection. And in a world that's becoming more and more digital, I think that's going to be even more important.
It's like people are craving, I don't know, authenticity, realness. They want to learn from people who, get them, who they can relate to.
Exactly. And that's where, you come in. You, the course creator, the passionate expert who can build that trust and connection with your students. That's what's going to make your courses stand out.
Okay, I'm loving this.
Yeah.
We've talked about tools, platforms, marketing,
Hmm.
but this whole conversation about the human side of things, it's really got me fired up.
Me too. It's a good reminder, isn't it, that online courses can be so much more than just, information delivery systems.
Hmm.
They can be platforms for connection, for building communities, for sharing
For
passions.
making a real difference in people's lives.
Exactly.
Wow. So here we are. We've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of online courses. And I got to say, I'm feeling pretty inspired.
Me too. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
It has. We've covered a lot of ground. From picking a niche and creating killer content to figuring out pricing and marketing. And we even ventured into, the philosophical realm of AI and the importance of that human connection.
It's been a whirlwind, but hopefully a really informative one. And I hope you, our listener, are feeling, I don't know, a little bit more knowledgeable about this whole world.
And inspired to take action,
Hmm.
whether it's creating your own course, exploring PLR, or just, embracing a mindset of continuous learning.
Exactly. There's a whole world of knowledge out there waiting to be explored, and you have the power to be a part of it.
So go out there, dive in, and see what amazing things you can create.
It's been a pleasure sharing this deep dive with you. Until next time.